some of you are already actively engaged in your warm-up. For that, I say thank you. You can work in your teams. I'm referring to the stairs that you guys made. Okay. So, make sure that's happening. Man, it makes my blood boil when you come in late. You have no idea how mad it makes me. No idea. As you guys work through your warm-up in your teams, please have out 9 through 15. As a reminder, it should be out, it should be open. If you don't have it all the way done, and you know my expectation all the way done, please don't waste my time showing me. Okay? If you don't have it all done, just say, I'm sorry, Miss Solti, I didn't get it done. Or whatever. Okay? Don't go like, oh, here I have 9 to... Oh. Then you just wasted 10 seconds of my life that I can't get back. Okay? Check your homework right now. If it's not done, don't show me. If it is done, it should be open. You'll flip. We'll be quick. Do your warm-up. Ready, set, go. Thank God, you're about to get in trouble again today. So good.
I saw it.
No one cares about Thanksgiving.
Seriously, who cares about Thanksgiving?
Hey, well, I'm sorry. My apologies. Hey, sorry, I know. That eggnog combo will really derail a whole class. It's a good thing. I just can't help myself. This is teacher suicide. It's a good thing you guys weren't in class all together when that whole dress thing happened last year. Because, woo!
Did that happen in your class?
Boy, oh boy. I almost, you remember. Oh, maybe you don't.
Yellow or blue and black?
Yeah. Hold on. Team white and gold?
Black, red, and blue.
Are you?
What'd you say?
I said team white and gold.
I haven't looked at it. I don't remember.
Oh, the dress.
Yes, let's try.
Or black and blue. Black and blue. Black and blue.
I've seen it in gold, but I've seen pictures of it.
All right. Check.
You guys are blind.
I'm not even going to video conversation, so I'm partially colorblind.
And hot. Okay. So, yeah, I know. Fun times. Yeah, no one cares about the original. You need to make sure. You need to make sure that your warm-up, you have glue at your table. That your warm-up is in your notebook. Also, I'm just going to point this out to you. Tables 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. You'll notice that people left crap, aka calculators, either in your box or around the desk. Now I'm going to ask you, I realize that they were there when you came there. Hopefully we both also realize that they shouldn't have been left there. And unless you would like to join those tables, and I'm thinking it might be boot camp, I'm not sure, then I recommend that please tables 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 10 be better than the people before you, and don't leave calculators on your table. Okay. Shh. Not right now, Levi. Just, dear God. They do.
Yes, but each class is different.
So, let's talk about your warm-up. It should have been based on the stairs that you built. Reminder, you had some different stairs, right? Not everyone, you did not all have the same tread and rise measurements. Anyone feeling confident about how many steps it would take to get to that landing? Kimani, you got 9.
Yeah. How is that all the same answer?
What was your landing height?
The landing height, which, 8?
This thing, the big thing on your paper.
Oh, that one? 6.
6 feet. And what were you guys, Kimani? 3 feet 9 inches, right?
Then how do we still get the same answer?
Because people had different stairs.
Because how high? Look, yours was 6 feet, and you guys had, what was your rise?
8 inches.
8 inches. You guys had 3 feet 9 inches, but what was your rise? 5 inches, right? So bigger rise, you can go higher places, right? The steeper your stairs are, the higher the rise on your stairs. Obviously, 9 stairs that are 8 inches tall are going to get you further than 9 stairs that are 5 inches tall. So you should have got 9. You should definitely not have got a decimal. Did anyone want to admit to me that they got a decimal? You guys did?
I didn't.
Oh, well, sorry, Mariah. Okay. So there's that. The next thing we are going to do, because boy, oh boy, I did not expect that to happen, but it's okay. I am a trained. You have blue. Come on, man. Because you guys kind of did a terrible job at your homework today, and I don't say that totally meanly. Either here were the kind of 3 camps here where we're at. Some of you did your homework, remembered some stuff that you've learned before. It's all good. Some of you tried your homework and were like, ooh, I do not remember that, and tried to like put something on there. And then some of you just completely faked it. Like your answers were so bad. Okay. Today's the one time I'll be kind of nice, unless your name's Sean, in which case I'm about to lose my head. Pick your head up. Because technically, sure, we haven't learned this stuff this year, but you have seen this stuff before. And it is my expectation, that if it's prior knowledge, it's stuff you've learned before, that needs to stay with you. Okay? So, like, it can't be going away. I'm going to take roughly 5 minutes to do a quick review of slope and graphing, because it seems pretty apparent that we need it. And then you guys are going to use that refresher knowledge to talk about your homework. Okay? Okay, great. I'll play both roles. It's fine. I'm used to it.
Okay.
There we go. In your notebooks, please. On the next page, so you have one page where your warm-up is glued in, taped in, place held, something. Huh. Oh, sure. Just come grab one. You don't grab it. Oh, you did it. Do. I might puke. My head is. Oh God. Yeah, Duke's gross. Hey.
That crayon is black.
In your notebooks. In case you forgot. If you're someone who forgot, now is especially a good time to pay attention, okay? Graphing basics. We're going to talk about the basics of graphing and also slope. A few things that we maybe forgot. We graph from left to right. You graph the exact same way you write and read. You read and draw graphs the same way you read and write words, from left to the right. Okay? That's the first thing to remember. The second thing to remember is that when we're talking about slope, you always, I'm going to put that in bold. Should have italicized it, but I'm not that good. You always rise first. As a reminder, slope, M, is equal to rise over run. We always have to do the rising part first. You could now, you can have a negative slope, so I'll also point out that rise might mean fall, or like go down. But when we're talking about slope, that means, here's what that means, you are always going to go up or down first. Always. That's your rise. After you go up or down, we go from left to right. So the run, you go up or down for the rise. The run, you always go to the right. The run is always to the right. Run to the right. Always. Can't say that enough because sometimes you're like, but what if no? You should always go up or down, then to the right. Up or down, and then you go to the right. Okay, up or down, then to the right. Same way you read. Okay? As an example, here's what I'm talking about. If I said, graph a line with, I'm just going to throw this out there, the y-intercept of 1 and a slope, I'll get there, of 3/4. If I wanted you to graph a line with a y-intercept of 1 and a slope of 3/4, first of all, you need a graph. I got an x, I got y. I'm going to put some points on there because it's a good thing to do. I mean some tallies. 2, 4, 6, 8. Go first. Also, I'm going to talk about y-intercept because there was a y-intercept question on your homework. Intercept, where it crosses y-axis. It's also why it's helpful to label. Y goes up and down. Y goes up and down. Okay, Y's are the up and down. Y's are the rise. More on that to come. If I want to have... If I want my y-intercept at 1, that means I have a point. Here's my y-axis. It's the up and down. There's a point at 1 right there. There. 1. Whoop. On the y-axis. On the y-axis. 1. And now my slope of 3/4. To graph that slope, I go from the left to the right. I always rise first. Slope of 3/4 means I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. And always I go to the right. Always, 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 always to the right. So that would be the next point on my graph. Okay, so from left to right, I go up 3 first, rise first, and then run. Gotta get up before you can run. Cue one of my favorite YouTube videos of the dog who's asleep and he's running and then he runs into the wall. Amazing. Yeah.
I always learned it the exact opposite way, so if I do it the other way, it messes me up and confuses me, because I was always told you need to pick up the ladder and move it before you can start climbing.
If someone told you something different, A, I'm going to judge them. Tell me they are. But B, does anyone at table 8 want to help? Or should I? You want to help? Dropping bombs. Just kidding. Knowledge, not bombs, Sean. If I ask you again, Sean, you can go take a nap down with Mr. McMahon. Capiche? Make a really expressive face, but I can't see that good today. You not doing nothing? Oh, okay. So yes, Miss Stolte. Sorry. Or actually, I have a better idea. I know what we could do. My next idea is not as good, so we may not want to go to sleep again.
His family can get us ice cream.
No, but we'll talk to his family for sure. Yeah? Well, you don't care? A shruggy? Yeah, I don't. Okay, so am I. Go to sleep. You want to be sassy?
I still like the idea of him buying us ice cream.
We'll call home right now, Sean. Together, me and you. Right? See, you guys are good friends. Okay. Now, alternative situation. Next situation. You might say, well, what if, what would it look like if the slope was -3/4? Same idea, same y-intercept. So same y-intercept, but if, just so we have a nice example, if I did have a slope of -3/4, right? Negative, all that means is that instead of going up, it's going down. Okay? You still are doing the rise first, but I go down, 1, 2, 3, and then I go always, 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 always to the right for my run. So that there, I will draw my line.
I still don't understand why you're silently judging.
Okay?
So well.
Yes, Mariah. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, so that would be the same as positive 3 over 4. Okay? Now here, again as an example, just so mentally in your head, mentally, we must have this. Because I saw, the real issue I'm having is that I saw some positive slopes on your homework when they're supposed to be negative. Not okay. Let's suppose there was a small, stickish man. And he was traveling, of course, from left to right, because that's how stick men travel. Okay? And he was walking, and he's going to walk up. Oh, I gave it away. Dang. And he's going to walk on this line, right? As he's walking, is he going uphill or downhill on the black line? Uphill, because from left to right, that is a positive slope. It's a positive line. The black line is moving up. I know. I said I gave it away. But now here's the deal. If you are at all like me, maybe you're not, maybe you are, and you won't admit it either way. But when I was in high school, I remember my teacher saying 2 things. They said, hey, a line goes on forever in both directions. Which way is that line going? And be like, well, it's going up and it's going down. Like, that's a stupid question. I don't understand. Okay? Yeah, sure, it is going on endlessly, but we read graphs from left to right the same way you read other stuff. Now, why sometimes people tell you to do backwards things, I don't really know. I think it makes much more sense to keep things the same. That's how I think. Same thing here, right? Little dude jumps up and he's walking along the orange line. Would he be walking up or down? Down, because the orange line has a negative slope. A negative slope from left to right is a line going down. It's a line going down. This is a big one for me. Maybe you're not perfect at graphing slope, but you should never have a negative slope looking positive, have a positive line, right? You should be able to tell me if the line's going up or down, because we're going from left to right. What?
May I share a method of explaining easily memorizing between positive and negative?
Yeah, during tutorial. If you guys want to hear a method for easily talking about slopes, go talk to Levi. Okay, shh. Moving on. Now, with that information, thank you, Levi. Someone, it'll be helpful, but not right now. Given this information, I want you to take the full 10 minutes to talk about your homework. You're either, again, in one of those 3 camps. Maybe you feel really good, and you're just like, yeah, I already know all this. Great, then your homework had better darn tootin' be all correct. Okay? Or you're in the camp that's like, I didn't really know, but oh man, Miss Solty, you're such a great teacher. Thank you so much for reminding me. This makes so much sense now. Some of us. None of us? Okay. Then you, right, are going to redo some problems. Redo some problems. Third person, you just BS'd your way through your homework. You just wrote numbers and you think I wouldn't notice, but let me tell you. Okay? You need to rework. You need to do some problems that are like for real. Okay? Specifically interested in 14 and 15. 14 and 15. If you finish those, maybe 12 and 13 as well. But start looking at 14 and 15. Oh, that's my reminder on 14. Sorry, my last thing. I forgot to show you. I'll remind you guys, last week we'd had this problem. Last Thursday. We did this problem. Because we talked about slope. We were talking about slope last week. And none of you, I don't think, maybe one of you, all of you had heard that there was some formula for slope. Like slope is something, like, I'm not sure there's a slope formula. Yeah, something, right? Again, but none of you really remembered it. Okay? It's not an X plus B, it's not an, okay? So, very few of you remembered it. And the reason, this is why I'm not, like, if you've already been told it once, Why would I tell it to you again? Clearly it didn't stick or mean anything to you or make any sense. So I'm not just going to tell you something you've already been told. That's clearly not a good method for learning. Okay? What I will say is that the more you understand that slope is rise over run, that we've heard a lot, then you don't need a formula. For one, you can graph it and count. All of you are capable. For two, if you did need a formula because your numbers were massive, like that was 315 and this was 7 gajillion, you wouldn't be graphing anyway, but you could think in your brain about rise and run. If you didn't do 14, when this is where most of you like truly faked it on your homework, it's not okay to not show work. It's not okay if you say, Miss Stolte, I showed it on a different paper and like it disappeared. Because, no, that's not okay with me. If you did use a different paper, that should be with, at least in your notebook. And in fact, if you're asking me, why would you do it on a different paper when you have graph paper right here? Like that's where I would do my homework if I needed graph paper. Just saying, okay? Here's a really good method that we all talked about for 14. So when I came by and you guys said, I said, how'd you do 14? You went, right? You're BSing me. Just call it what it is, okay? I should see graphs if you count it. Yes, there are other ways to do it, but this is at least one way. This is at least one way. So if you have no other method, this is your method for 14. 10 minutes, I don't want wrong answers. They need to all be correct today, especially 14 and 15.
Okay, so do you want graphs? I think we already got this already.
You don't have to, but if you need to. Yeah. Whoa. Shh. Not the time to converse. What you should be doing, though, even if you didn't do your homework at all, is writing down the answers. That way you're creating, you have some answers. You can always work backwards later. Matthew, I'm kind of talking to you. I wasn't going to call you out, but now I am, so there you go.
Where's level 3?
They are not there. 11 and 12, I didn't draw graphs because I didn't. What?
I'm really confused on how you have 14D because I got a negative slope if the first numbers are the first
B or
point.
D?
D.
I'll talk about D.
Can I talk about D?
Anything else? Questions? Taylor.
On 14D, why is it
Yeah.
over 2?
Okay. We got lots of questions on 14D. I could be wrong. We'll see. Lots of questions on 14. I understand. Anything else? Did you get 13/16 on here? That one?
Yep.
We all wrote 13/16?
I think so.
All? Not. I mean, when you say all. Okay.
I think you did do 14D wrong.
Well, that's what I got originally, though.
Hey, boss.
Only negative.
Never mind. It's all good. You have my book, right?
No, you go down the shelf. Oh, sorry.
My car.
You don't have your glasses on.
Because I'm pretty sure that's a negative slope, so how would you get a positive?
Whoa. Let's just see here. Okay. We're gonna just look at spend some time on 14 then. Shh. I don't know how far I gotta go, so I'm just gonna make a giant graph. Two, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Okay, so it's gonna be pick up really well on the film today. Here's my beautiful X and Y axes. Let's do 14.
You do
Hold up. I'm gonna do 3 of them. It's gonna be quick. 14B is for pink. 2, -4 is here, and 7, -3, 7, -3 is here. So if I am looking at 14B and considering these points here, okay. As I move from one point to the next, rise over run. Rise first always, from left to the right, from left to right. I don't care what order they told me the points in. From left to right, starting here, I always rise first. So if I'm trying to get over to that next point, I gotta go up 1, and then I have to go over to the right, always moving to the right, 5. So my slope for B would be up 1 over 5. Okay? That one was just fractions. I think. You could have read it.
You could have written it however you
No,
want.
14, you just find the slope, whatever. You might have wrote it as 0.2. For part C, C gives me the points 0, -2, and 4, -2. This is part C. So here, yep, I have a flat horizontal line from the left to the right, from the left to the right, from this point to that point. What's my rise? 0. And then my run is what? 4. 0 over 4?
4, 0.
0 divided by 4?
Yes.
Is 0. 0 divided by 4 is 0, yes.
So a slope that is a vertical line goes there, right? But the slope that is horizontal
You had those words
So,
wrong with my adjustment.
no, she had them right. So, again, just to summarize, a little drop in knowledge bombs over here, Meadow. Any horizontal line, horizontal, this way, Matthew. A horizontal line has a slope of 0. Every horizontal line has a slope of 0. Vertical lines, straight up and downsies, they have a slope of, it's an undefined slope. In fact, vertical lines have no slope. Just throw it out there. You're like, yeah, maybe you remember, maybe you don't. For D, purple, green, purple, green.
Great.
That's too much like pink. D. The points are 5, 7, and -3, -5.
Oh.
Because they don't have a set direction to go.
So D is quite a long one. You could do one of 2 things. You could count from point to point. Okay? Or you might notice that it crosses points at the same spot. So I can use some of these closer, they're called lattice points. It's kind of a fancy word because they're on like the cross part. From here to here, I would go up 3 over 2, so that the slope on part D would be 3 over 2.
Do you want us to do your,
Yes.
is it wrong to,
It's not wrong if you wrote 1.5, but your algebra teachers are going to want you to have it as fractions. And if you have me for algebra because you want to take tech algebra next year, then I'll be like, fractions. It's going to be...
I definitely won't have to go.
Okay. Tommy, was that you? No, it wasn't. Okay. I just heard someone, saying crazy stuff. That was you who said crazy stuff. Yeah, that's what I thought. Next up, let me take a second. What do I do next?
Time we have.
you should do 13 minutes.
No, I'm done with that.
We should do 25 minutes.
No, we should only check that.
You should do 17 over 25.
You guys, peer pressure is not a thing, man.
There is 17%.
We aren't peers. When are you guys gonna get that? All right.
Amber.
In your notebooks, we're gonna keep going with what we were working on last time. We're gonna kind of extend this a little bit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. In your notebooks does not require talking. I am going to do... I'm going to do one-ish example together before you guys do your other examples. I'm sorry? Huh? Whoa, Finn. I would like you to find the exact length of the hypotenuse. Now, before you do that, I'm offering bonus points today.
Are they actually less one?
Of course. Who can tell me the most fitting name for this triangle? I'll give you a second. Don't say anything yet. Are you slowly about to raise your hand? Do you want to say? Right triangle, incorrect. I'm ignoring both of you. Andrew. Incorrect. Sam.
Isosceles right triangle.
Yeah.
Both descriptions.
You're both right and you're both right, but best answer would be using the sides and the angles to talk about the triangle's name. This is an isosceles right triangle. It has two sides the same and a right angle. Fantastic. These are my favorite types of triangles to work with. They're just so good. So good. Okay? Please find the exact length of the hypotenuse. Exact implies that you're going to be simplifying some square roots.
Does it have to be exact?
Matthew, out in the hall, please. Don't tell him he knows. Hey, shh. Zip, it's kind of belittling if you try and whisper to him. Do you know how? Have you heard, do you know the name Pythagoras?
You do tell me you can do it.
See, I believe. It's the only formula you will probably ever remember. Starts with an A, and there's a B and a C also. Yeah, for sure. Actually, you guys, I'm going to show you something really cool. I might take up some time tomorrow because we're going to have some time.
Oh, snap.
It's going to be good.
I'm excited.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Next Q. Shayla, what's C? How do I know what C is in general? What's C of this Pythagorean fame? C is what? The hypotenuse. What a fancy word.
Okay.
Just to clarify. Arden, pick your head up, please. So I would have 9 squared plus 9 squared equals C squared. 9 times 9 is 81. 9 times 9 also 81. C squared still. Now, add.
162.
Okay, groovy.
Vicky, you wear
Show. It's groovy all the time. It's hip, right? Groovy. Oh! Shh! Why are you guys still talking to me? No, I don't believe for a second you're talking about this.
Okay.
How do I undo a square? Austin.
Oh.
Square root, just like we were working on last time, and so I would have, I'm going to flip sides here, but I believe we can follow. C is the square root of 162. But, like we talked about, It's kind of the same idea. You've worked with fractions before. I don't leave fractions like 3/6. That's tacky. You know what I'm saying? Okay? We simplify fractions same way we simplify, not the same way, but in the similar way that we have to simplify radicals. Like fractions, some fractions are already simplified. Some radicals already simplified. Okay? This one, in fact, is not already simplified. If I am trying to factor that, the first thing I need to do is break it into some prime factors. Most of us, I don't know, maybe not. Divide by 2, because they're like even number. And you get this. Yeah, 81, you can do 9 times 9. Well, okay. Yes and no. I'm going to keep going, but I'm also just going to point out that there's a pair of 9s. So, you get to go to the dance in pairs. Those 9s could come out, but I'm not going to talk about it. We'll just go this way. 3 times 3? 3 times 3. So that my factors of 162, don't forget the 2's hanging out up here. Sometimes we forget them. We have a 2, a 3, a 3, a 3, a 3. Now, as we discussed Tuesday, you go to the dance in pairs. The 3's get to go out. One of them. Of that pair, one of them gets to go. Well, they kind of, it's more of a birds and the bees situation.
So more like a black widow situation where we get these.
Oh, God. Same thing here. Same thing here. Another pair of 3's. One of those guys is going to come out as well. They're being multiplied. And then there's a 2 that's still left
That goes to jail.
under the square root. Okay? What's 3 times 3? 9. Like I said at the beginning, you could have, hey. You could have, right there, you could have said, hey, 2 9s. A pair. Go to the dance in pairs. One of them is out in the front. And you wouldn't have had to do that next piece. Now, I'm going to show you one other way to think about it. Because here's the deal. I'm not a super fan of this. I think it's a little bit misplaced as far as where you should teach it. This is like a random, it kind of seems like random probably. For most of us, there's not much rhyme or reason as to why we're doing this. I don't really like when things are like that. Okay? Another way you could think about this square root, I did say think. The square root of 162, you could also all along write this as the square root of 81 times 2. But here's an equally as arbitrary rule I'm going to present to you. So like this might seem kind of arbitrary or like random. This is going to seem kind of random as well, because you don't know why I'm doing it. You can split up this square root. I can write the square root of 81 times 2 is the same thing as the square root of 81 times the square root of 2. And of course, what is the square root of 81? 9. So I would also write this as 9 root 2. There's really 2 trains of thought in the issue. So you get the same thing either way. Both are a little bit random right now. Yes. Yes.
So if you go with like bigger numbers, like I did 18 times 9 instead of 2 times 81, could that still be right instead of not giving the 9?
What did you say you got? 18 times what?
9.
Yeah.
And 18 times
Because you could, again, if you did 18 and 9, Meadow, you could stop right here and you could say, oh, cool, pair of 9s and a 2. So these guys get to bounce out to the front.
Oh yeah, I did it 9 is 3 times 3.
But then you would have still been left with 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should get the same. Excuse me. Okay. There's a problem with this way which is why I don't teach you that way, but it's the same either way. Okay. Here's what I need. Oh, actually, is it 06 or 10? Will someone look? Perfect. We have enough time. Quit.
No, it's 01. It's 01.
It's not an exit ticket. It's not an exit ticket. I'm done. What the hell are those people doing? No. Ready, set. You should be following along. We don't have so much time.
I got it.
It's like Matt Damon over here about to die on Mars. I didn't see it. Spoiler alert. Jeez. I don't read.
You need to read the book. How to read the book?
I'm just kidding. Well, I actually don't see very many books or films. I only read the books. Like, damn,
It's actually the
Martian is?
actually good.
Okay, I'll read it. I'll read it.
It's in half.
Some of you know how to follow along. The others of you, you're probably, not going to be successful. Put your name on the bottom. And it's okay, that's okay. That's fine. Don't say anything. Choose 2 numbers. Any 2 numbers that are whole numbers. No, that are natural numbers. Natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and so on, etc. Not zeros. Not 0. 0 is a whole number, not a natural number. They're different. I'll tell you later. Choose 2 numbers. Any 2 whole natural numbers. Yeah. I'm positive. Hey, Ethan, go for it. Go for it. You're only hurting yourself with this. Whoa, shh, whoa. Shh, shh, shh. Next. Without talking. 0% talking. You have 1 minute. In your notebook now, go to your notebook, go to your notebook, go to your notebook. Go, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Shh. I'll go to 210 if I have to. I don't care.
You understand?
No, you're a hypotenuse. Shh, shh, shh. No, do not do it on your paper, on the triangle paper. In your notebook, right now. 3rd minute. Quick, like a bunny. Shh. Shh. Just finish quickly while I talk. As an example, here's mine. I did my work. Previously, I made you guys do my work, actually. You figured this one out for me. And then I would, not on the inside, but on the back, I write my answer. It is supposed to be folded like mine, yes. It should look almost entirely exactly like mine, except minus you have different numbers here. Hopefully, that are whatever numbers you chose. They could be separate numbers, don't care. And then you write your answer on the back. Exact length of your hypotenuse. Now, no. Sit down. Sit down. Okay, now here's an example. Someone who's done. Sam, come here. Okay, here's what's going to happen. You are going to do this twice. I'm going to go like this. I have a problem now. I'm going to take this problem in my notebook. I'm going to solve this problem. And then on the inside, I'm going to check. Maybe I agree, maybe I don't. But on the inside, I'm going to write my answer. And I'm going to write my name. If I can spell it right.
So do I only have to do it now since I have a name in there?
Okay? And then I'm going to fold it up. And then I'm going to take it, and Sam's going to go away. And I'm going to go trade with someone else.
Oh my gosh, no.
You give them him? They're going to trade me? That's going to be great. Okay? You are going to do that process twice. Questions? Yes?
Can you do it at your table?
Yes, you could do it at your table. You could also do it not at your table, but you must do it twice.
I don't have a pen.
Yep.
And what do you write in the middle?
No one. Someone else writes in the middle.
You'll take yours with